What's up, guys? So today I wanted to talk about the Race Tech spring kit I bought, also with the gold valve emulators, and some confusion you may have when installing this kit yourself, especially when it comes to the dampening rod itself, because you do have to modify your stock one. So what you're going to want to do is, once you pull it out of the bike, you have to drill a total of 4 holes. There's 2 holes already on the dampening rod, 180 degrees from each other. But what you're going to want to do is, for the first hole, you want to measure 20 millimeters from center to center. That's where you're going to drill your first hole. Then your second hole, you're going to turn it 90, and you're going to be 10 millimeters from your first hole to your second new hole, and then just repeat the process. Turn it another 90, it's going to be 20 millimeters from your first hole to this hole, and then once you turn it 90 again, it's going to be 10 millimeters from your first hole to your last hole. So I was a little confused on that, but I got it straightened out, equaling a total of 6 holes. So your first one's going to go there, your second one's going to go here, your third one's going to go here, and your fourth one's going to go here. It does state that if your dampening rod is 17 millimeters in diameter or larger, you want to drill these holes to 5/16. You're going to want to drill the OEM hole out also if that's not 5/16. And then you're going to want to chamfer each one of these holes just so the fluid can enter in there easily. A couple other things to keep in mind when you are, upgrading your front suspension. A lot of people just think you can add fork fluid to the front suspension and that stiffens it up. That's not the case at all. What fork fluid controls is your rebound, how fast the springs come back up. So when you go with a thicker fluid, that actually slows down the rebound, which dramatically affects tracking going down the road, how straight the suspension will react once it hits a bump or whatever. You can get the potential of speed wobbles, tank slapper. So you definitely want to keep in mind when adding fork fluid, that's only affecting your rebound. What's going to affect your compression is your actual springs in your front suspension, and more importantly, the valve emulators that come with the Race Tech. So these control your compression. Now everyone weight's different, so when you order this kit, it has a whole form that you fill out that you put your rider's weight in, the type of riding you're doing, and it's going to come with these valve emulators, and it's going to come with different springs also, but it tells you in the instructions how to set these and what springs to use. So everyone's going to be a little different on these, but these are going to control your compression along with the new springs that they provide. I went with the 0.90 kilogram springs, and I believe the stocks are 36 kilograms. So there's definitely going to be an advantage to having these. They also come with the lowering springs that you don't need, so you can just hang on to these or sell them, but you won't use those. You'll use your normal dampening rod springs. I actually recommend when you're doing this to get new dampening rod springs for the 39 millimeter front end. Here's the part number. I know from Harley, well, at least my Harley dealership, you had to buy like 10 of these at a time, which you'll probably never use that in your lifetime. So I actually found these on eBay brand new, but I recommend doing new dampening rod springs when you're doing this. But yeah, it's just something to keep in mind when you're upgrading your front end. The fork fluid controls rebound, not the compression. Your valve emulators and your springs control your dampening rods. I haven't used this kit ever, so I've heard a lot of great reviews about it. It is a little difficult to do, but it's not too bad if you have the instructions and drilling out the dampening rod just like this, because you can mess this up if you don't do that. It will not, the fork oil will not flow through the dampening rod correctly. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them. As always, like, subscribe, I appreciate it. One more thing to add, you will need to get a fork fluid measuring tool, because with Race Tech it measures fork fluid in millimeters, and this is a great tool how to measure your fork fluid in millimeters. They're on Amazon, like 20 bucks max. Definitely want to get that, because you cannot measure this fork fluid in ounces like the service manual calls for. So definitely want to get one of these. I recommend even doing fork seals while you're here. It's not necessary to pull the fork seals apart when you do this, but if they are leaking, you definitely want to you know, change your fork fluids and the bushings in there. I actually have a part number if you guys need to get that. This is from Hard Drive. I actually bought this whole kit from Cruise the Original, but there's the part number right there. Made in Taiwan, not a fan of it, but it seems like an alright kit. Comes with everything you need: new crush washers, bolts, seals, bushings. Those bushings from Harley are kind of expensive, so if you guys need a part kit, that's a relatively cheap one. But yeah, any questions, just leave it in the comment sections. Thanks, guys.